Welcome to WHHI News. I'm Allie McNair, and here's a look at your headlines. Alex Murdaugh's defense attorneys and the prosecution have agreed on a questionnaire for prospective jurors in the upcoming double murder trial of Murdaugh's wife Maggie and his son Paul. Murdaugh did not appear in court on Friday. However, Judge Clifton Newton said that Murdaugh would be required to be in court for all future hearings. Well, the flu has spread much faster than usual across South Carolina this season. To date, South Carolina has had a total of 32,633 reported flu cases this season. And according to South Carolina's Department of Health and Environmental Controller, DHEC, that's 48 times more than the 679 total cases reported over that same time period last year. Now, DHEC recommends that everyone 6 months of age and older get vaccinated against the flu. Health officials say getting a flu vaccine is extremely important for people who are at an increased risk of complications from that virus. Well, although South Carolina school districts have received $3 billion in federal pandemic relief funds, over the past few years, school districts have barely spent 1% of that money. That's according to an analysis by the Post and Courier, which examines what's been done with those funds that were aimed at improving the academic achievement of the neediest students living in poverty, Black and Hispanic students, and those with disabilities. Well, almost half of the only 1% of funds that have been spent by one district, and that's the Beaufort County School District. Superintendent Frank Rodriguez says one of the ways his district has worked to narrow the achievement gap is by extending the school day to make up for learning time that students missed during the pandemic. If you'd like more details about that analysis, you can go to postandcourier.com. A national anti-poverty program known as Circles is coming to Hilton Head Island. Its goal is to close the earnings gap between low and high-income residents. The organization says it helps connect and build relationships between those two groups. Families or individuals living around the poverty line will meet weekly with middle and upper income individuals or families. Now, by doing so, Circles says those who are less fortunate will learn about community resources and gain skills in areas such as finance, leasing, and debt management. Well, preparations are underway for the return of Beaufort's air show in April of 2023. Just last week, 2 Blue Angels pilots landed at Marine Corps Air Station to get ready for the event. Due to COVID health guidelines that limited large crowds, the last air show in Beaufort was back in 2019. During their visit, the 2 pilots from the Blue Angels did some important behind-the-scenes work. This year's show will feature the Blue Angels' new FA-18 Super Hornets, which are larger, more powerful, and louder versions of the familiar FA-18 Legacy Hornets that have been flown by the squadron since '86. The Beaufort Air Show will be on April 22nd and 23rd. Holiday parades and festivities were the norm this weekend all around Beaufort County. Hilton Head Island had its first ever tree lighting ceremony at Celebration Park. Bluffton's annual Christmas parade took place too, and Beaufort's downtown was full of holiday activities. We'll have some of the sights and sounds of those events all this week here on WHHI News. For details on these stories and more, check the news sources on your screen, and be sure to find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you have a story idea or you know of someone you think we should interview here in the studio, email us at news@WHHITV.com. Now it's time for a look at weather, and with that, here's Maria.
Thanks, Allie. Yep, so taking a look ahead, it does look like we're going to have some really great weather this week. It's going to be sunny, much warmer, and we're not going to see much rain, if any at all. Taking a look at Tuesday, it's going to be partly cloudy with Hilton having a high of 72, a low of 57. Bluffton's going to have a high of 72, a low of 57. And Beaufort's going to have a high of 71 and a low of 57. The sunrise for Tuesday is going to be at 7:10 and sunset's going to be at 5:18. Taking a look at beach tides, high tide's going to be at 7:48 a.m. and low tide's going to be at 2:53 p.m. Taking a look into the rest of the week, it's going to be basically the same. Wednesday's going to be partly cloudy with highs in the 70s and lows in the upper 50s. And then Thursday and Friday, it's going to be sunny with highs in the 70s and lows in the upper 50s. That's it for today. Let's head back to the desk.
Thanks, Maria. Up next, Loco Sports with Justin Jarrett. Stay right there.